if you don't have a tailgate.
We interrupt this commercial. Advantage Ford has sold more F-150 trucks than any Ford dealership in New Orleans.
Come on and tailgate with us and register for many free gifts.
Get up to $8,000 in discounts on many F-150s.
Come to your Louisiana #1 truck stop and you'll say,
Shucks! Who can do better than that?
Advantage Ford.
Take this exit and get the advantage.
Jim Henderson on Channel 4's Eyewitness Sports.
Okay, a couple things about me. I travel all over the state for work. Deal with that. Gonna have to handle my baggage. There's lots of it. I'm not the kind of guy who's interested in your needs. You want your engine checked? Turn on that light. Let me know about it.
Looking for a car?
Come to Cars.com.
Find the right vehicle for you.
And the dealer who has it.
From time to time, I'll give you premium.
Cars.com.
Car shopping just got fun.
Log on to WWLTV.com for Cars.com.
The mighty Mississippi tells an epic story full of amazing twists and turns, with chapters like the one written on a remote island near St. Francisville, where an extraordinary tree has stood for 1,000 years. Join Eyewitness News in celebration of the Louisiana Purchase Bicentennial as Dave McNamara journeys along the living waters that define the territory's eastern edge and discover how Louisiana's giant cypress helps to tell a river story. Monday at 10 on Channel 4.
CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 38.
Hello, friends. Jim Nantz back with you on the NFL Today. Coming up next, you're going to see the San Diego Chargers travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jags. Each team coming into this game winless on the season. LaDainian Tomlinson, he was hot last week, almost lifted the Chargers to a win at Oakland. He'll be matched up today against rookie Byron Leftwich, who gets the start for the second straight week for the Jags. It is San Diego and Jacksonville coming up for all of you. We'll see you back here later at halftime. Enjoy the NFL on CBS.
You want the job?
I want the job.
90K.
180.
100.
170.
110.
160.
120.
150.
120.
140.
120.
Bonus? No bonus.
Done.
How about something with a pool?
A hunting lodge. Kids will love that. How about something with a pool?
Lots of photos. Another way Expedia helps you find the hotel that's right for you.
Expedia.com.
Subway presents Fresh Starts, a glance at teams looking to turn heads this season. Subway, eat fresh. Led by Coach Tony Dungy, the Colts are 4-0 for the first time since 1996. Last Sunday, Peyton Manning threw for a team record 6 touchdowns, 3 to Marvin Harrison. In addition to a potent passing game, the Colts possess the NFL's second-ranked pass defense, providing balance on both sides of the ball.
Donald, you shouldn't eat that way. It's okay, I had Subway for lunch.
Subway, delicious low-fat sandwiches, so you can feel good about being good and okay about being bad.
There's no easy way to say this.
Just kidding. You're fine. It's okay. I had Subway. I can't look at your face.
Subway, good so you don't always have to be.
It's the NFL on CBS from Jacksonville. We join you from Alltel Stadium for the first ever meeting between the San Diego Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Ian Eagle along with Solomon Wilcots. These two teams coming off heartbreaking losses a week ago. They're still looking to get into the win column. It's going to happen for one of these clubs here today. Let's start with Jacksonville, Solomon. Jimmy Smith, all-time leading receiver in Jacksonville history. He's back for the Jaguars, reinstated after serving his 4-game suspension, violating the league substance abuse policy, and he's in the starting lineup.
Well, the return of Jimmy Smith gives Jacksonville another big play weapon on offense. And he said after being out for 6 weeks, what he discovered in practice this week is that he can still get open, he can still get deep, and he can still make big plays. Now, that's bad news for a very young San Diego Chargers secondary, but it's good news for the rookie quarterback, Byron Leftwich. He'll get the start for the 2nd straight week, and head coach Jack Del Rio said that he'll go with Leftwich over the more experienced veteran Mark Brunell.
So it should be a boost for Jacksonville offensively, and San Diego is expecting the same because their top wide receiver, David Boston, is back in the lineup. He was suspended for a week. We've got suspensions all over the place here. Last week, out of the game, conduct detrimental to the team. Marty Schottenheimer made the decision. Boston returns for the Chargers.
And David Boston has been both Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for this San Diego Charger football team. He's been both hurtful and harmful, but the coaches and the players said that this week he's been as focused and as committed as he's been all season long, and they hope that it can carry onto the football field. But the guy who will make the offense go for the San Diego Chargers is none other than their running back, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Tomlinson and the Chargers looking for their first win of the season, and the Jacksonville Jaguars in the same exact situation. San Diego to kick it off after Jacksonville won the toss. Steve Christie will do the honors. And we are underway from Alltel. David Allen, the return man, he'll take it from the 14. Allen looks for an opening, and he's trampled down at the 30-yard line. It's a 17-yard return. And that's where Byron Leftwich will start off for this Jacksonville offense. Leftwich so far this season, he has looked very poised and mature beyond his years, a rookie quarterback. Take a look at the offense that will be protecting him on that line. The veteran of the group is Chris Naoli at right guard, and backs and receivers. He's got talent at the skill positions, including Jimmy Smith. 5 Pro Bowls. Smith back after the 4-game suspension. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. And a handoff. It's Taylor on the draw. Unable to break to the clear, but he does pick up 3 yards going up the middle. Fisk and Moreno combined to bring him down. Defensively for the San Diego Chargers, they come in ranked 27th overall. Adrian Dingle, he's been a surprise, and he's been their best pass rusher so far. Zeke Moreno coming off his best game at middle linebacker last week in the loss to Oakland. And Kwame Lassiter, the veteran of that group in the secondary. Lassiter, a guy that can make plays from the strong safety position. On the give, it is Taylor. Spin move, Taylor across the 35-yard line and then pushed backwards after he picked up 5 yards. Jason Fisk, again involved in the stop. Marty Schottenheimer, he told his team, stick with the plan. They'll look at these quarters as the season goes on. They're 0-4 to start, but there's 75% of the season left, and Jack Del Rio trying to convince his team of the same philosophy right now. You can't give up after just 4 games.
He told his players, hey, let's keep chopping wood. He's going to go with the young rookie quarterback, but they believe so much in Byron Leftwich because he's capable of making big plays.
On a double tight end set, give it to Taylor, forcing his way forward, and comes up short of the 40-yard line. He picked up a yard, but he needed more. Donnie Edwards made sure he did not get to the marker. And the Jaguars go 3 and out.
They run on all 3 plays, 3 consecutive plays called by the offensive coordinator, Bill Musgrave. At that time, the San Diego Chargers defense, they were up to the challenge.
Chris Hansen, who went to the Pro Bowl last year. Hansen, the left-footed punter. High punt with Eric Parker waiting. Takes it in stride from the 21. Stops at the 30. Trying to double back. And he is mauled as he turned around. T.J. Slaughter on special teams. Limits Parker to a 6-yard return. San Diego's first offensive possession, and it's Drew Brees. Numbers a bit misleading. Number of those interceptions have come off tip passes. He's got 7, though, so far this year. Offensive line, Phil Bogle, the right tackle, getting his 2nd consecutive start because of an injury to Solomon Page. And backs and receivers, LaDainian Tomlinson, 187 yards rushing, a touchdown, and a touchdown passing last week in that overtime loss in Oakland. Open up with a 2 tight end set. It's Peel and Gates with a 1st and 10 from the 29. On the pitch, Tomlinson has the blocking. Surges through the hole, loses the football at the end of the play. Knocked towards the sideline as he took a shot from Donovan Darius, and they will peel off the pile as the players still battle for the loose football. Chargers have not fumbled the ball yet this year, and on the first play from scrimmage, Tomlinson coughs it up.
And watch Donovan Darius fill the hole. That's how you run from that free safety position, to fill the hole. You see an opening, you know the running back's going to take it, and you have to come with the force. Donovan Darius is a big safety, and when he gets there, he can deliver a lick.
Fullback Lorenzo Neal able to pounce on it. And San Diego maintains possession. On 2nd down, it's Tomlinson. Unable to push the pile as Mike Peterson read it from the middle linebacker position. And a 3-yard gain. Defensively for the Jacksonville Jaguars, ranked 16th overall. Hugh Douglas has not had a sack since the opening game. Linebackers, T.J. Slaughter is in the starting lineup. He replaces Danny Clark. And in the secondary, Fernando Bryant had an interception last week, his 1st of the season in the loss to Houston. It is a 3rd and 1 for San Diego. Motion man is Boston. Brees unable to make the connection. It was Tomlinson releasing out of the backfield, and San Diego is forced to punt as Slaughter applied some pressure on Brees.
You know, Drew Brees has to exhibit greater poise on that play. He threw the ball way too hard and way out in front of LaDainian Tomlinson, didn't allow him to adjust to the throw. Had he caught it, I believe he would have been able to pick up the 1st down.
Darren Bennett to punt it with David Allen waiting. Allen standing at his own 17-yard line. Bennett averaging 43.5 yards per punt. Low punt. Allen fields at the 25, makes his move at the 30, makes a man miss at the 35, and able to accelerate to the 37-yard line as Antonio Gates makes the stop on special teams, a 12-yard return. And we'll step aside. No score here in the 1st quarter. Two teams trying to break long losing streaks. San Diego and Jacksonville, they are scoreless right now. Chargers have dropped 8 in a row. Jacksonville has lost 6 in a row, dating back, of course, to last season. And a 1st and 10 from the 38. Double tight end set for Leftwich. He'll throw, ball tipped at the line of scrimmage. Jimmy Smith, the intended receiver. Solomon, Mark Brunell comes in today as the number 3 quarterback. Emergency QB for this afternoon's game.
Yeah, it's just a sign of the times. And we talked to Jack Del Rio. He said, well, Mark has declared himself healthy. And he stopped me in my tracks. He said, yeah, Mark declared himself healthy. He still has 5 stitches in that left elbow and still have significant swelling. So Jack Del Rio believes he has a better chance of winning this game with the rookie quarterback.
On the pitch, here's Taylor, gets caught up behind the line of scrimmage, and fortunate that he was able to squeeze out a yard in that possession. Jason Fisk cuts him down low. What happened to Brunell? Well, week 3, Jaguars and Colts. First quarter, Brunell forced out of the pocket and then gets tackled by David Thornton from behind. A laceration to his left arm. That's his throwing arm. 5 stitches, a huge gash. He left the game in the 4th quarter. He has not played since.
And hasn't been able to practice with the first-team offense.
On a 3-receiver set. 3rd and 9. Shotgun formation, Leftwich. Steps up, Leftwich. Poole in the pocket, throws. Low throw, Jimmy Smith hauls it in. Question about the chemistry between Leftwich and Smith. They haven't had a chance to work together all that much, except for minicamp and this week. Obviously no problem there.
And both players have shown they don't need much work because they possess so much talent. And it's just a great throw by Leftwich to throw that ball on a rope out to the line, understanding if I get it low, Jimmy will go down and get it. And he's a guy that sat out of training camp all of last year and still got off to a great start.
Smith has spent 6 weeks at a rehab facility in South Carolina. He told us it was an eye-opening experience for him. That ball floats away from Troy Edwards and incomplete. And Jimmy Smith didn't know what the reaction would be when he came to the stadium today after being suspended the first 4 weeks. You and I got to hear it as he was announced to the crowd, and from what I could hear, basically all cheers.
He's established a ton of goodwill here in the community here in Jacksonville, and everyone understands that it's a chemical addiction and that he still is a good person. And yeah, he is trying to restore his career and trying to restore his reputation also.
On a 2nd and 10, Leftwich draw play. It's Taylor. Waits for the opening. Makes a cut to the 40-yard line. And Fred Taylor, the elusive running style, he picks up 11 yards as he made Williams and Wiley miss just in front of the line of scrimmage. First down, Jacksonville.
There have been a lot of changes here in Jacksonville, but Fred Taylor remains the same. He's had that on and off again year where he hasn't been able to play a 16-game season until last year. And look at the production, 1,314 yards. So when he's healthy, he can produce for this football team.
And he is averaging 4.7 yards per carry so far this season. In San Diego territory, Chris Fuamatu-Ma'afala getting the call. Cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers and getting a chance here in Jacksonville, a 9-yard gain.
And for years under Tom Coughlin, you didn't see a fullback in this offense. And now with Bill Musgrave coming over, you're going to see a lot of Chris Fuamatu-Ma'afala as well as Mark Edwards. These are big fullbacks on this football team. Not only can they block, but they can run the ball also.
Fuamatu-Ma'afala, now in his 6th year, was productive in Pittsburgh as the backup for many years to Jerome Bettis until Amos Zaraway took that job, and now eventually the starter. Handoff, Fuamatu-Ma'afala. First down. Just shy of the 25-yard line, a 5-yard gain, and Fuamatu-Ma'afala reacting after every opportunity.
He always has played with that passion and that fire that you love to see in your football players. Most of the time you see it on the defensive side. It's really nice to see guys on the offensive side of the football to come with that kind of passion and that enthusiasm that you love to see all players perform with.
And now Fred Taylor returns with a 1st and 10 at the 27. Jacksonville is on the move. Their 2nd possession of this first quarter. Fake the handoff. Leftwich has the time. Throws over the head of Jimmy Smith, incomplete, and he was open.
He was open, and there was plenty of time. And Byron Leftwich knows it. See that smile on his face. He understands that he had an opportunity to get the ball to his top receiver. Jimmy Smith, he said, hey, I can still get open and I can still make big plays. He discovered that in practice. We can look at the move he puts on Quentin Jammer up top. He's wide open. Leftwich has to be able to drop that ball in there. And Brunell said, okay, you can get it done, kid. We know you can get it done. This team really believes in Byron Leftwich.
Well, Leftwich told us he almost feels at this level it's so hard to get the ball where you want it because of the pressure. You almost feel like you have to throw the perfect ball every time. He'll get another chance. This time it's a strike to Jimmy Smith. At the 15-yard line, a first down as Smith beats Sammy Davis on the play, 12 yards through the air.
And that's the difference with Byron Leftwich. When the ball comes out of his hand, it is a rocket. And do you see the protection? This offensive line's been doing a tremendous job, but look at the velocity on that ball. Jimmy Smith electing to cradle it with his chest because trying to catch that ball as fast as it is with his hands, I think, be very difficult.
Jack Del Rio continues to mix and match with his wide receivers. Troy Edwards actually got the start instead of Matthew Hatchett. We've seen now Troy Edwards and Cortez Hankton will get an opportunity as well, but a timeout taken by Jacksonville. 7:24 to go in the first. Jaguars looking to strike first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Friendly, nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. The next Ford F-150, built Ford tough. And by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
No score, Jacksonville and San Diego. Chicago has defeated Oakland, so only 3 winless teams remain in the NFL. 2 of them are here. The other, the New York Jets, have a bye. They'll play Buffalo next week. Matthew Hatchett has checked in for the first time as Edwards sets up wide. Leftwich throwing. And dropped by Taylor. 2nd and 10 upcoming. And that's a ball that Fred Taylor normally catches.
And you also have to throw a better pass. I think Byron Leftwich is rushing his passes just a little bit because that ball got on top of Fred Taylor sooner than what he had expected, and it was also thrown low. He had plenty of time. Just throw a nice soft pass and allow Fred Taylor to adjust to the pass.
Sets up a 2nd and 10. Line of scrimmage is the 15. This is the 11th play of the drive for the Jaguars. Taylor and Edwards in the backfield. On 2nd down, Brady in motion. Hand it off. Taylor looking for the outside. Taylor stutter set move and out of bounds just short of the marker as Brady and Edwards applied key blocks up front. It's a 9-yard dash.
And when I watch the film of this Jacksonville offense, the biggest surprise is how good this offensive line is. They get out in front. Mark Edwards, the leading fullback, look at him taking out guys and clearing the way for Fred Taylor, but they also did a good job of protecting the rookie quarterback last week, Byron Leftwich, against a very tough and physical Houston Texans defense. So the line is playing better. Fred Taylor's also playing better. 3 rushes so far today.
Leftwich yet to get sacked this season on a 3rd and inches. Hand it off. Taylor makes a move. Taylor cut down short of the goal line. It's a 1st down. 1st and goal for Jacksonville. 5-yard run as Quentin Jammer saved the touchdown.
And it was the offensive line clearing the way, giving Fred Taylor enough time to cut, to dodge, and then bounce outside. You normally don't get enough time to do this. Number 65, Chris Naoli, pulling, and he takes out 2 guys. Just an excellent job by the right guard, Chris Naoli, and then really good job by Fred Taylor to read and be patient as he picks up the 1st down.
And a 1st and goal. Handed off. Taylor with a head of steam. Did he get there? No. Fred Taylor coming up just short, a collision at the goal line.
Oh, this is just good penetration. Look at the linebacker come in, keeping his head up. Looks like number 59, Donnie Edwards. He gets the stick. He stands him up, and then everyone else just comes to the rescue to knock the pile back.
Good stand by this San Diego defense, but they face a 2nd and goal. 6:32 to go. We are in the 1st. Jacksonville looking to get on the board.
So many teams down inside the red zone. You don't try to get cute. You really do have to rely on your offensive line, your fullbacks, to create running room for your tailback. And it's very simple. Inside the red zone, if you're going to be successful, you have to be able to run the football.
Jaguars have scored just 3 points in 1st quarters so far this season. 3 tight end formation. Handoff. Taylor. 2nd effort. He's in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Fred Taylor would not be denied on his 2nd crack at a 1-yard touchdown run.
Well, the Chargers aren't surprised. They just couldn't do anything about it. Number 57, Zeke Moreno, come diving over the top. Fred Taylor has the presence of mind to duck underneath and still power in for the touchdown. But everyone in the stadium, including the Chargers, knew the Jaguars were going to run the football.
2nd touchdown of the season for Fred Taylor rushing. And the extra point from Seth Marler comes off and bounces through. Marler hits the post, but he adds the PAT. 7-0. A 14-play, 62-yard drive. 40 of those yards came on the ground and capped off by a Fred Taylor 1-yard touchdown to give Jacksonville the 7-0 lead. They had been outscored 21-3 entering action today in 1st quarters in their first 4 games. On the kick, it's going to take a roll from Marler into the end zone. And a touchback. San Diego will have it from the 20 when we return to Alltel Stadium. Jaguars in front, 7-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service. And buy Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you. Nothing's better. Dr. Pepper.
Let's update some of the numbers around the NFL. 4 teams remain undefeated. Kansas City, Minnesota, Indianapolis, and the surprise of the league, Carolina, 4-0. And the winless teams, Jacksonville, San Diego, that'll change today, and the Jets, 0-4, off this week.
And those teams have to understand that even the Titans last year went to the AFC Championship game. They started with a 1-4 record, so the season is certainly not over.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Fake the handoff. Breeze throwing on 1st down. Out pattern. Intended receiver David Boston. Marcus Stroud able to get in the face of Drew Brees to throw him off on that throw.
And the Chargers can ill afford to fall behind on the scoreboard by a big margin. They've struggled in games when they've fallen behind because it totally takes LaDainian Tomlinson out of the game, forces Drew Brees and the receivers to have to make plays, and that's when they create the mistakes, and really they just get blown away.
They've trailed by at least 20 points in each of their first 3 games this season. Handoff, Tomlinson, and they string it to the outside. Limit him to a 2-yard gain as Mike Peterson was able to sniff that one out. Scores from around the league. Some excellent early action here in week 5.
A wonderful game out at Arrowhead as Kansas City knocks off Denver.
How about Dante Hall?
Oh, he's incredible.
He's money. Every week, it's money.
I think if you had 12 defenders on the field, I don't think you can stop him.
Special teams ace. Right now, he is the best in the business for the Kansas City Chiefs. And a 3rd and 8 for San Diego. They have done very little offensively so far. 4-receiver look. Brees steps up, has the time, throws it underneath. Boston trying to create after the catch, and does, with a 1st down to the 31-yard line. David Boston, when he first catches the ball, I can tell you this, from a play-by-play standpoint, my first thought is, that's a tight end.
It's a tight end. You think he's a tight end, but once you see him move, then you know he's a receiver. Here's the skinny on Boston. He's had bad year, then good year, but look at the last 2 years, or 2001, 2000, he really lit it up. And that's what the San Diego Chargers are hoping to get because they want balance in this offense. David Boston in the passing game, and then I don't think there's anyone better than LaDainian Tomlinson when you're running the football.
Tomlinson will get his opportunity here. Gets to the outside and veers out of bounds. LaDainian Tomlinson takes the slightest of openings and turns them into solid gains. That's a 6-yard run for Tomlinson.
Yeah, when Tomlinson gets the football, he will really hurt the competition. In week 1, only 18 touches, and look, 61 yards. And then against Denver, 21 touches, 120 yards. And the more he gets the ball, you see the last 2 weeks, that's when he can really light it up and put up some big numbers.
So far, 4 carries, 15 yards for LaDainian Tomlinson. Currently leads NFL running backs in receptions with 25 this year. Brees throwing. High throw. Eric Parker along that sideline. He's out of bounds. Again, Marcus Stroud applying some heat on Drew Brees, which may have affected the pass.
It certainly did, because Brees wanted to cut it loose earlier. Parker was open much earlier in the route, and then Brees had to avoid the blitzing defensive tackles, Marcus Stroud, and then get out and then try to throw the football. By then, he threw it too high and too late.
And they've got 2 good ones, John Henderson and Marcus Stroud, young players that are developing very quickly, clogging up that middle for Jacksonville. 3 receivers set. On a 3rd and 4, Brees short drop, quick throw on the slant to Boston. David Boston carrying a defender on his back, some pushing and shoving as Fernando Bryant could not bring him down by himself. A 13-yard gain.
Yeah, Bryant goes for a ride. Once you allow the receiver to get inside, it's an easy throw for Drew Brees. Surprised they're not doing more of this. He does take a hit, but not until he gets up the field and picks up the 1st down. But if anybody can take a hit from Donovan Darius, it's certainly David Boston.
Boston heads to the sideline, 2 catches, 22 yards. He'll sit out this play with the helmet off. Schottenheimer told us a productive week of practice. Obviously, everyone was curious to see how Boston would respond after the suspension. Give it to Tomlinson. Looked like he was stacked up initially, and a late flag comes down. Tomlinson goes out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Lorenzo Neal trying to create some extra space. He was holding on to Fernando Bryant. Tom White. It's been a quiet day so far for the officials.
Holding. Number 62. Offense. The 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
Now 62 is Bob Hallen, who is filling in at the right guard position for Solomon Page. Page sitting this one out with an ankle injury. They've already lost Vaughn Parker to a knee injury. And penalties have plagued the Chargers. They are averaging over 9 per game through the first 4.
Well, they're a young football team, and then they're banged up also. They're missing their starting right guard in Solomon Page and their starting right tackle in Vaughn Parker. They have 2 backups on the right side of that offensive line, and when you have so many people trying to fill in for the starters, it really does create problems in terms of avoiding mistakes.
Add some movement. Penalties on back-to-back plays. Stroud and Hallen. Who'd they catch?
False start. Number 62. Offense. The 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
It is the former Atlanta Falcon, Bob Hallen, who backs up at both guard positions, starting at right guard today.
And that's how you kill a drive. The Chargers are moving very well on offense, mixing in the run and the pass. You get 2 penalties, and now you're facing 1st and 25.
They were at midfield, right at the 50. Now the line of scrimmage is the 35. Approaching 2 minutes to play in the first. Play action. Breeze. Soft toss to Tomlinson. LaDainian Tomlinson getting back a chunk of that yardage as a helmet flies off. 45-yard line, 10 yards off the catch and run. LaDainian Tomlinson.
And before Jack Del Rio came over to Jacksonville as the head coach, he was the defensive coordinator with the Carolina Panthers and had tutored guys like Julius Peppers, and then of course the year before had been with Baltimore with the Ravens. And you can see with this defense, they have adopted the personality of their coach. They're quiet, they don't do a lot of talking, but they swarm to the football and they can hit.
2nd and 15 as Boston is back on the field for San Diego. Breeze, fake the handoff, airs it out. Breeze, sideline route. Too far for Justin Field, who extended for the football. Incomplete. Well, Jack Del Rio, football, not the only sport he excelled at. 1984 USC baseball team.
And he's keeping great company. Randy Johnson and Mark McGuire on that team.
And Del Rio was the catcher for Johnson. How about that challenge, facing a fastball like that? And both McGuire and Johnson very complimentary, because Del Rio was one of the older players on the team. He took the younger guys under his wing. He was actually drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays coming out of high school. Play clock winding down. Breeze, rush coming. Gets rid of it. Nobody home. Donovan Darius on that safety blitz.
They do a good job of disguising the blitz, and Drew Brees doesn't get rid of it. Coming off the top of your screen, there you see Donovan Darius coming in unblocked, and that's what forces Drew Brees to throw the ball before the receivers could get ready and complete their routes.
It'll be the second punt of the day for Darren Bennett, 36 yards on his first attempt. David Allen waiting at his own 14. High spiraling punt from Bennett. Allen lets it bounce. It twirls at the 4, and San Diego downs it at the 1. Kevin House getting down the field. They're going to spot the football right around the 4-yard line. 7-0 Jacksonville leads it.
The Florida Gators face a big-time battle in Baton Rouge against Matt Monk and the undefeated LSU Tigers next Saturday on CBS.
Coming up, Nextel halftime report. Jim, Dan, Dion, and Boomer have all of today's scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Nextel halftime report. Jacksonville with a 7-0 lead, 1:07 to play in the first quarter, and the Jaguars now with a 1st and 10 from their own 3-yard line after the strong punt from Darren Bennett. Troy Edwards, number 18, you see him go to the top of your screen in motion. Leftwich looks to Edwards, keys in on him, breaks the tackle. Troy Edwards had a huge day last week after getting signed by Jacksonville earlier in the week. 3 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown last week. 18 on that play.
Edwards matched up against Quentin Jammer, and watch the quicks. See, it's just one quick move, and Quentin Jammer has to break down and secure the tackle. He has to be able to make this tackle in the open field. You know, we talked to Marty Schottenheimer about the poor tackling around the league, and Troy Edwards is one of the best at making people miss at 5'10", 191. He's very quick. But we talked to Marty Schottenheimer about the poor tackling. He believes that on the college level, they have the 20-hour rule. You can't have the kids on the field for more than 20 hours a week. And he said, and that's one of the things, they're not able to practice those fundamentals because they spend so much time working on the scheme. And I'm sure he's telling his cornerback, Quentin Jammer, hey, break down, make the tackle. Do not give up the yards after the catch.
Edwards, an 84-yard touchdown last week, the longest play from scrimmage in Jaguar club history. And a 1st and 10 for the Jaguars. Here's Taylor. Breaks through. Fred Taylor. First down run as he angles out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Picks up 12 and stops the clock with 17 seconds left here in the opening quarter.
Fred Taylor is still the guy who can hit the home runs for this offense. He has shown he's very strong. He has the good vision to bounce it outside, reading the blocks of his guard, Chris Naoli, and look at the power he exhibits down on the goal line, and then he can punch it in for the touchdown.
Well, Taylor will head to the sideline after that run, and so will the rest of these players because it's the end of the first quarter. Jacksonville leads San Diego 7-0. First ever meeting between these two franchises. Jacksonville leading San Diego 7-0 as we start play in the second quarter. Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcox, the rest of our CBS crew from Alltel Stadium. 1st and 10 for the Jaguars. First play of the second quarter. And incomplete. Intended for Troy Edwards as Leftwich got thrown down on his back. Well, you mentioned the term earlier, Solomon. Jack Del Rio told his team, you got to chop wood.
He says, hey, keep working hard, keep swinging the axe. Sooner or later, we'll chop down that tree. And he has this stump inside the players' locker room as a reminder of the work ethic that he wants from his football team. Yeah, they're very young. They're going through some changes. Mark Bunnell is no longer the leader of this team. You're trying to get young players ready for the long haul, and he understands that you have to start with the right building blocks and the right principles.
Byron Leftwich will fake the handoff. Leftwich throws it. Perfect pass to Jimmy Smith. Good read by Leftwich into San Diego territory at the 45.
Well, he's becoming more comfortable in the pocket. That's because they're giving him time. He actually had Mark Edwards open in the flat, but he is the kind of quarterback that looks up the field because he likes to make the big passes, and this one is thrown on a rope over to Jimmy Smith, who tight ropes that sideline.
3 catches, 44 yards for Smith. He missed all of training camp last year, and in the opening game, he had 8 catches, 104 yards. So you don't have to worry about the inactivity of Smith. He can come back and hurt you. Give it off to Taylor. Look at him turn the corner. Taylor dances his way for another Jacksonville first down. And right now, the Jaguars are shredding up this San Diego defense. Mark Edwards with a key block.
Yeah, here it is. You just come out, Mark Edwards block here, and he'll take it and bounce it outside. But it really starts by reading the fullback, having that anticipation, seeing bounce it outside, then he cuts it up, and he's able to get to that first down marker. Fred Taylor, he's a patient runner, and then when he sees the opening, he'll take it because he's very decisive, very strong runner.
And remember, Jacksonville took over on this drive from their own 3. This would be so demoralizing for the San Diego defense if the Jaguars continue the way they're going. Taylor thrown down at the line of scrimmage. Donnie Edwards will be given credit for the stop. No gain on the play.
Donnie Edwards, he's a guy, he'll just come from the linebacker. He's back here, but he'll get into the hole. He's smart. He presses the line of scrimmage because he'll get there before the fullback, and that's how you make tackles in the backfield. You can't sit and wait for the runner to come to you. You have to go get them by staying on your keys, understanding when it's a run play, and then pressing the line of scrimmage.
Edwards last week, 7 tackles and an interception. Taylor gets another chance. Good job by Ben Lieber not to give up his spot defensively on the field and limits Taylor to a 2-yard gain.
Well, this defense is improving. You're talking about young players on your defensive football team. The entire secondary is young. Kwame Lassiter, Jerry Wilson, they have veteran safeties, but they have so many young players that they have breakdowns. And Marty Schottenheimer said teams will try to motion us, get us out of position, and that's when we have the breakdown.
Yeah, Schottenheimer told us he didn't think their issues were as much on Sunday, but really more during the week in the classroom, practice, and then it translates to poor performances on Sunday afternoon. Out of the shotgun, handed off, LeBrandon Toefield accelerating. And Toefield able to take it right at the San Diego defense for a gain of 6, but short of a first down. Terrence Keel, the rookie, one of the youngsters you were talking about, Solomon, makes the tackle.
Yeah, they have a lot of young players in that secondary. A lot of them are getting the experience, but it's a steep learning curve.
Well, they're going to go for it.
Del Rio's going to go for it. He has shown a lot of confidence in the early going of Byron Leftwich.
Looking at either a 43-yard field goal or a 4th and 2. They are 4 of 5 on 4th downs this year. Toefield in the backfield. Play action, Leftwich. He is sacked. And Marcellus Wiley has finally gotten off the schneid. First sack of the year as Fisk slowed him down, and Wiley finishes him off.
Well, they're trying to get Kyle Brady open, but he was covered. He's forced to eat this ball. Better eat it than throw it into the hands of the San Diego Chargers.
Jack Del Rio trusting his offense on a 4th and 2 instead of trying a 42-yard field goal, and it backfires on him as Jacksonville turns it over on downs. San Diego takes over a 1st and 10 from the 34. Shooting through the gap, LaDainian Tomlinson, and he picks up a yard. Rob Meyer and Tony Brackens combined to bring him down. Well, over 1 million people are playing fantasy sports on CBS Sportsline. Don't miss out on your chance to get in the game. Check out all the great fantasy sports games. Sign up for leagues forming today. Just click on fantasy at cbssportsline.com. Total yards so far, it has been lopsided in favor of Jacksonville, but just a 7-0 Jaguar lead. 2nd and 9. Play action. Breeze throws, finds an opening, and it's David Boston getting to the secondary for a 16-yard gain over the top. He beat Rasheem Mathis, who took a hit.
Yeah, he's making his presence felt and doing it over the middle of the football field. And watch it go up for this football. He knows he's going to get hit, but that's why they brought David Boston over to the San Diego Chargers, because they need the presence of a big play wide receiver. With many of their tight ends out, they can use him over the middle of the field as well as on the perimeter.
He has been Breeze's best target so far, his 3rd catch of the day. Tomlinson running into a crowd and driven back. Mike Peterson, first man there. It's a 3-yard gain for LaDainian Tomlinson. Well, Tomlinson has had big games throughout his career, very young career so far, but following up those big games, that's been a different story. Trying to change that trend. 187 yards rushing last week. What will he do today? 6 carries, 19 yards thus far.
Well, if they can stay close on the scoreboard, he'll get his carries. And if he gets his carries, the yards will come with it.
On a 2nd and 7. Fake the pitch, Breeze. Quick throw, Boston after the catch, looking for some room. David Boston breaking to the clear, sprinter speed, and he's gone. Touchdown, San Diego.
Wow. That's what they've been waiting for. They'll love him in San Diego now, and I tell you, that is exactly what everyone in San Diego, the fans, the coaches, the entire organization has been waiting for. He's a guy, it's just a wide receiver screen. They get out in front, they block it, they're pulling the guard, Bob Hallen, and look, he says, no, get out of my way. He picks up more blocks up the field, and from there, you see the speed of David Boston. We saw the power earlier, but he still has sprinter speed.
46-yard run after the catch by Boston as Steve Christie adds the extra point. Boston a little shimmy, finally something to celebrate for Boston and the Chargers.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Saturn, makers of the highly adaptable View, stylish midsize L300, and the fun-to-drive Ion. Subway, Good so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. And by IBM, official information technology partner of the NFL.
The quick strike capabilities of David Boston. 4 plays, 66 yards. It took 2 minutes off the clock. And Boston with a 46-yard touchdown reception. This game is tied at 7. We're here in the second quarter from Alltel Stadium. Christie on the kick, a short one taken by Allen at the 22. Allen tries to split defenders, and he is brought down at across the 30-yard line.
Yeah, the key plays, or I should say key blocks on this play. Eric Parker will come here, then the backside left guard and left tackle will seal it off as he comes underneath. Damian McIntosh, number 77, and Kelvin Garman, they come a long way to get blocks up the field. There you see 77 and 63 getting up the field to create more room for David Boston. He only needs a seam with that speed. He shows us right there.
Breeze has 5 completions, 4 of them to Boston. And a 1st and 10 for Jacksonville from the 32. Open up out of the gun. On the quick handoff to Taylor and no room to run. Jamal Williams there to help wrap him up. No gain on the play.
And it all started on the Jaguars' previous possession. For this defense of the San Diego Chargers to get that stop, I think it really inspired their offensive football team, understanding they got to keep the defense off the field, put some points on the board, and it came up huge. The defense is starting to make some plays, and now Jacksonville has to respond.
Jaguars have lost 4 in a row here at home. 13 losses in their last 16 games overall. So many similarities right now for these two teams. High pass out of bounds.
Wow.
Great attempt by Kyle Brady. And they are chatting right now whether or not they're going to give Brady that catch.
But what a throw.
Byron Leftwich able to get it to the sideline, and they will rule it a reception. Forced out of bounds. 12 yards. He was pushed as he went up for the football by Jerry Wilson.
And earlier we criticized Leftwich saying he needed to have more touch on the ball, but this one he drops right in the bucket. Look at that. That's not an easy throw, but they're saying Wilson pushed him out. They're saying that he would have come in with both feet inbounds, but see the push, you get 1 foot down. He didn't get the second one in, but they're saying that Wilson pushed him out, and now I think they're going to take a look at it.
He clearly got the first foot down, and the only question becomes whether or not he was forced out by Wilson. To me, that's a catch.
Yeah, he clearly would have come down with both feet in bounds, and Wilson did come over, and of course he's doing the right thing defensively. You don't want him to come down in bounds. You let the officials figure it out, and you make the play.
If it stands, it's a first down for Jacksonville after the 12-yard gain.
But still, you can't say enough about the poise, the presence, the arm strength of the rookie quarterback Byron Leftwich. He's making plays, and he drops this one right in the bucket over the head of Jerry Wilson, where only his guy can make the catch. Kyle Brady did an excellent job of going up for the ball and coming down with it.
Well, in talking to the Jacksonville Jaguars, everybody pointed out the maturity of Leftwich and the intelligence. That's the first thing Jack Del Rio told us. You can look at the physical abilities, but to him, the intelligence stands out more than anything else from this young man.
And not only the intelligence, the sheer ability to make throws. At Marshall, he played in a passing offense where he was asked to do a lot of things.
San Diego has challenged the ruling on the field that this is a completed pass.
Okay.
Well, let's try to understand the thinking behind this. There's a chance they lose a timeout and lose the challenge. If Schottenheimer's point is that Brady was falling out of bounds on his own, I'm not sure if the video is going to be able to back that up. We're going to talk more about it, and we'll have the decision when we return.
Hey, Coach, anything?
Nothing.
Here's the snap. He's in the pocket. Going long. Touchdown!
The Late Show with David Letterman, your #1 pick in late night.
Time for the decision. Tom White down on the field after checking out the instant replay. Challenge for Marty Schottenheimer.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. This is a force out. His one leg comes down. He's pushed out of bounds and holds on to the football. Timeout is charged to San Diego.
Well, that's one of those gambles by a coaching staff, and sometimes you wonder what coaches upstairs are looking at or what the thought process is.
Yeah, we told you at the outset that they were going to consider this a push out by Jerry Wilson, that he would have come down with, see, the left foot is in, the right foot would have come down in had Wilson not pushed him out of bounds, and that's what the officials are saying. And I think the coaches for the Chargers upstairs should have seen that before telling Marty, yeah, let's go ahead and challenge it, because now you lose a timeout.
It's a brilliant catch by Brady, and it sets up a 1st and 10. Leftwich will throw it again. On the money to Jimmy Smith. And into San Diego territory at the 44. Quentin Jammer with the coverage.
Well, right now, the Chargers are going to have to get some people in the face to Byron Leftwich, because he is growing in confidence. He's growing in his comfort, standing in the pocket. He's not getting hit. He's releasing the ball very quickly. And right now, he's just carving up the San Diego Chargers secondary.
Houston certainly gave him different looks a week ago, no?
Much more complicated defense that Dom Capers run in that 3-4 look that he doesn't see often. And he was very successful there, even though he threw 3 interceptions, threw the ball very well.
On 1st down, Taylor running hard as he got spun down at the last moment. He almost broke that one through to the secondary. 4-yard gain up the middle. Phil Simms and Boomer Esiason weigh in on the hot topics every week on NFL.com. This week, Phil talks about the toughness of Cordell Stewart, while Boomer addresses Terrell Owens' latest outburst. It's only at NFL.com or at NFL on AOL. Line of scrimmage is now the 40-yard line on a 2nd and 6 for Jacksonville. The Jaguars offense once again on the move. Give it to Taylor. Fred Taylor running off tackle to the 35-yard line, and a 5-yard gain for Taylor. Zeke Moreno, the stop for San Diego.
I'm really impressed with the offensive line, as I said before, for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's no leaks up front in the running game. They're protecting the quarterback when they drop back to throw it. They continue to play like this. They will improve as the season goes on, and they're going to win a lot of football games, because right now this offense is just moving up and down the field every time they get the ball, because the offensive line is doing such a fantastic job.
A measurement right now to see whether or not Taylor was able to get that 1st down. 16 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown so far for Fred Taylor. And he just missed it. Inches. 3rd down for Jacksonville. On their last possession, they decided to go for it on 4th and short instead of attempting a 42-yard field goal with rookie kicker Seth Marler.
And so many times you hear, defensive players say, hey, the offense has to keep us off the field, where this is where the defense can take things into their own hands and get themselves off the football field by stopping Jacksonville on this 3rd down play.
Line of scrimmage is the 35. Jaguars and Chargers tied at 7. 7.5 remaining, 2nd quarter. Both of these teams 0-4, gut-wrenching losses a week ago. Handoff, LeBrandon Toefield, and that 2nd effort, it'll depend on the spot. San Diego is claiming that they've got the football.
Yeah, it appeared to come out. I don't know if he took the handoff real cleanly from Byron Leftwich.
And San Diego's got it. They recover at the 35, jarring the ball loose from rookie LeBrandon Toefield.
There's the handoff. See, he didn't know if he was going to get the ball.
Turnover, Jacksonville.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Staples. That was easy. And by GMC. We are professional grade.
First turnover of the day. It's Jacksonville that coughs up the football. Leftwich to Toefield, unable to get that exchange off cleanly. And you see the numbers from last year. 15 all of last season, and a dangerous trend right now. They already have 8 this year as Jason Fisk was there for the recovery. Quick toss. They'll try it again. Why not? David Boston. And Boston continues to make things happen after the catch. That's a 13-yard gain and a pretty spin move. Coming up, the Nextel halftime report. Join Jim, Dan, Dion, and Boomer. All of today's scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Nextel halftime report.
Well, the Chargers have made it clear by their play calling. They're going to try to get the ball in the hands of David Boston because it appears as though when he touches it, he makes big things happen. Fernando Bryant showing it's very difficult to tackle him in the open field.
1st and 10. Back to the bread and butter, the ground game, and it's Tomlinson up the gut, and he picks up 2 yards. Back to David Boston, as he was suspended last week by Marty Schottenheimer for conduct detrimental to the team. He has a very strained relationship right now with the head strength coach, Dave Redding, and he's now working with the assistant strength coach, Matt Schatz, with the idea that that will work a little smoother and it won't create as many fireworks behind the scenes.
Boston has his own unique workout, and I think as a strength and conditioning coach, you have a way of challenging and working with your players, and it's all about conforming.
Tim Dwight getting the call on a 5-yard gain as Kraft and Adele combined to bring him down. Tim Dwight returning to action after missing last week's game with a knee injury. And it sets up a 3rd and 3 for San Diego. Well, there is no questioning the talent of David Boston. The question that was coming up in San Diego over the first 4 weeks, could Dave Redding handle Boston with his regimen?
I think Redding asked a fair question. He said, do you want to be a bodybuilder or a football player? And I think that's a very fair question because he's a coach and you have to follow the coaches.
Boston thrown down on the play and a penalty marker. Fernando Bryant with some contact, and maybe in that setting being a bodybuilder isn't too bad.
Well, he certainly bowled over the top of Fernando Bryant, who's in bump and run coverage.
Number 25, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
I can't blame Bryant here. You look, he's getting ready to fall down, so he says, well, let me hold on to him. Boston does give a little Academy Award performance there, some acting going on because he knows the ball's in the air. But if you're going to bump and run a big guy like David Boston, you better be very strong. And Bryant that time, I don't know if he won the battle, but he's going to have to do a better job.
First penalty against Jacksonville. It gives San Diego a 1st down, and another flag comes flying in as Tomlinson leans forward. And some extracurricular activities following the play as Fernando Bryant is pointing his finger at the Chargers. He got into it with Kasim Osgood, the wide receiver.
Holding. Number 63, offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. Remain 1st down.
That's left guard Kelvin Garman on the penalty.
Yeah, he's working against Kasim Osgood. Look, these are some big receivers for the Chargers, and they're starting to pick on Fernando Bryant. Normally, it's the defensive back who's getting more physical with the receivers, but you can see both of them are going at it right there. But Kasim Osgood, he's a big receiver in his own right.
Osgood is 6'5", 209. Boston 6'2", 240. Wow. Quick throw. And this time Boston can't break free as Jason Kraft had something to say following the play. It's a modest gain of 6. Kraft is 176 pounds.
Well, Kraft understands. I'm not a big guy, but I have to get down, break down, and get low on the receiver. And that time he made an excellent tackle, not giving up any yards after the catch.
David Boston has already cracked 100 yards receiving today. 6 catches, and he's got himself a touchdown.
And it's still early.
The $47 million man signed by San Diego during the offseason to a 7-year contract. On 2nd down, Breeze. Deep drop. Look at the time. Outlet. Sets it up for Lorenzo Neal. Breaks one tackle. Neal using his weight, pushing it around along the sideline, and some shoving after the play.
When you talk about open field tackling, TJ Slaughter, he learned a thing or two about trying to bring down Lorenzo Neal. And there are some offensive players who understand how to be physical. Lorenzo Neal's one of them.
If you can dish out the punishment as an offensive player, like a Boston, like a Neal, oh, you're satisfied.
And that's what gets your players fired up. You get everyone understanding that, hey, guys, we're in a battle. We're trying to get our first win. We're on the road. We don't want to go to 0-5. Lorenzo Neal has always provided leadership by way of example.
Jesse Chapman, the third down back on the field, a 3rd and 12. Out of the gun, Breeze steps up, pump fake. Breeze throws to the sideline. Good grab, but a juggle. LaDainian Tomlinson. And it's incomplete.
It all started with the pressure on Drew Brees. The pocket began to collapse. He wanted to go upfield with it, but there was excellent coverage in the secondary by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's forced to dump it off to LaDainian Tomlinson.
Even with a clean catch, he would have been short of a first down as Darren Bennett will punt it. Rasheem Mathis is now the deep man, standing at his own 10-yard line. He's the rookie from Bethune-Cookman. High punt by Bennett, trying to place it inside the 20. Fair catch. Mathis brings it in at the 11. 31-yard punt, but Bennett does his job. San Diego and Jacksonville both fighting for a win. Our NFL.com poll question this week: which quarterback not projected to start in 2003 is having the best season so far? Bolger, Couch, Farad, Johnson, Leftwich, or Testaverde? You can cast your vote at NFL.com. First down for Jacksonville as Leftwich throws the long ball. Single coverage. Oh, what a catch by Jimmy Smith. Wow. Sammy Davis had excellent coverage one-on-one, and Jimmy Smith, the veteran, taking the young man to school.
Yeah, he took him to school, all right. He's the professor. Watch this. This is a textbook play. One-hand grab by Jimmy Smith. Coaches will use this in their clinic reel. Say, guys, this is how you do it. We can't blame Sammy Davis there. He's a really fine young player for the Chargers, but that's just an excellent play. Goes well beyond what anyone could expect from Jimmy Smith.
I guess Jimmy's not rusty.
Not at all.
36 yards through the air. And on first down, Fred Taylor runs into a brick wall. 2.5-yard gain. Zeke Moreno involved in the stop.
And I like Byron Leftwich. When I asked him, I said, well, you haven't had much time to work with Jimmy Smith. What about the chemistry? He said, there's no chemistry. We'll just throw it up and he'll go get it. He understands that he's a big player in terms of Jimmy Smith. Just get the ball out to him and let him run under it.
Smith told us something interesting. He's 34 years old, but he looks at himself as 31 because he didn't play his first 3 years in the NFL. His body is a young 34. Leftwich steps up on a dump off. It's Taylor getting to the outside, turns it upfield, and he is brought down by Donnie Edwards. But not after a first down was made by Taylor. 14 yards on the pass play. 2-minute warning. Second quarter, tied at 7.
You know what you never see in car commercials? Real cars. Cars that have been around the block a few times. The kinds of cars that need Castrol GTX high mileage. Specially engineered to protect against oil burnoff better than other leading motor oils. Castrol GTX high mileage. It helps older cars feel young again.
In the red zone, the best way to defend against the play is to stop it before it starts. That's why I use new Red Zone deodorant from Old Spice. It has a new odor defense system to help stop odor at its source before it starts. Try it. If you don't like it, Old Spice will buy you a stick or something else. Hey, it's better to be defensive than offensive. New Red Zone deodorant from Old Spice.
Dear DirecTV, there's not a word to describe how great DirecTV is. It's not great. It's not greater than great. It's even greater than greatest. My mom, at first didn't know if it was a good idea, but now she loves DirecTV, and it saves her money. Signed, Brian Mills. Brian, I think I'm gonna have you write my next review.
Act now and get a 3-room DirecTV system, including equipment and installation, free.
Jimmy Smith reinstated after serving a 4-game suspension for violating the league's substance abuse policy. He is back in a big way.
Yeah, he's back all right. He's going down in the dirt. for the ball, able to go over the middle, and then he can do the tightrope, but he can also get it deep, as we saw on the last big play. And Byron Leftwich is starting to settle in. He's completed 5 straight passes, and he understands who his home run weapon is, and that's Jimmy Smith.
Smith had 80 catches last year. For most receivers, you say that's a career season, but for Jimmy Smith, it was his lowest total since 1997. And it also broke a streak of 5 consecutive Pro Bowl appearances for the Jaguars' all-time leading receiver. On a 1st and 10, Jacksonville is in business again from the 37. Pump fake. Leftwich has the time. Airs it out. Long ball to the end zone. Oh, George Reister makes the catch. Touchdown. Penalty marker on the play. The rookie tight end from Oregon.
What a catch by Reister for the big guy to go up top, but it looks like this one's going to come back. They're going to say he pushed off.
Yes, they are. 37-yard touchdown nullified.
Pass interference. Number 87, offense. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Solomon, what did Marty Schottenheimer tell us yesterday?
He told us he was just appalled at some of the calls at pass interference. He said even some against us. But you see the left arm bar. I don't think that was a blatant push at all by Reister. He did have the arm bar up to sort of clear room. I think that call could go either way. Look at the left arm. And see, he doesn't use his hand. Well, yes, he does. It looked like he pushes off. I stand corrected. He had the hand on the chest of Donnie Edwards.
So good call?
Good call.
1st and 20. Leftwich out of the shotgun. Rush is coming. On a little flip to Taylor. High stepping it. And a flag comes down as Taylor got hit hard out across midfield. Kwame Lassiter and Zeke Moreno collaborating on that stick. And a penalty against Jacksonville as Adrian Dingle is still on the ground. San Diego has had so many injuries so far this season. And the medical staff quickly comes out to check on their 5th-year defensive end from Clemson.
Foul. Flipping, number 67, offense. It's a 15-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Now that's the rookie from Hawaii, starter at left guard, Vince Manawai. Called on the clip, and Dingle able to walk it off after the obvious pain. Ray Lee Johnson will step in, the former starter, to replace Dingle.
And more of the pass interference calls. Marty Schottenheimer told us it was the thing that he felt the officials were most inconsistent in making those calls. He has a number of young defensive backs, which we've already talked about, and it has really hurt his football team. His players are going through this growing pain of trying to understand how aggressive can you play. They like to play that bump and run style of defense. Is it how aggressive can you get with the receivers and still make a play on the ball?
Yeah, his biggest thought to us was the act material to the play? In that particular instance, at least from your perspective, it was.
Yeah, he's saying, well, in order to have pass interference, it has to give you an advantage. Clearly, it happened that time for George Reister as he pushed off on the linebacker.
And 35 for Jacksonville. Leftwich finds Jimmy Smith in the clear and back to the original line of scrimmage. Oh, these two are clicking in their first ever game together.
And this is why they decided to start the rookie quarterback Leftwich. He looks up the field more so than Mark Brunell. They felt like Brunell's vision was down lower and he would dump the ball off, but clearly they're going vertical in the passing game.
And a break with 1:18 left. First half. Leftwich getting a bunch of those yards back on the pass to Smith. Timeout.
What can a Tyrannosaurus Rex teach us about a retirement plan? What's big one day may disappear the next. At Wachovia Securities, we learn from the world around us and provide financial advice for those who need to rebuild. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. Wachovia Securities.
Monday, an all-new Late Show. Dave's got newlywed star Jessica Simpson, plus the latest Survivor castaway, Lillian. And later this week, don't miss Uma Thurman and George Clooney. Dave's all-new, all this week. 2nd and 10 for Jacksonville after the 25-yard pass play. Leftwich to Smith. Jimmy Smith, 6 catches, 116 yards in the first half. Leftwich to throw again. He fumbles! And recovered by Brad Meester, the center. Leftwich dealing with pressure in the pocket as Marcellus Wiley once again finding an opening.
And this is the first time they've been able to put pressure on Byron Leftwich. That's why he's able to throw the ball so far up the football field. It's not necessarily a soft zone.
Fumble.
It's not necessarily a soft zone by the San Diego Chargers defense here. They're not playing man coverage, but they can run so many people deep, and then they're hitting underneath. The reason why is because there's excellent protection by that offensive line.
Leftwich has been able to find the seam time and time again, mostly to Jimmy Smith here in this first half. Under a minute to go now. Leftwich throwing. Fullback Mark Edwards. Good cut by Edwards, and now he is gang tackled at the 35. Donnie Edwards leading that charge. No relation to Mark. 9-yard gain. And the clock is rolling. 36 seconds left. Jaguars still have 2 timeouts remaining.
Well, it is amazing how much the coaches here in Jacksonville trust Byron Leftwich. He missed 19 days in training camp. Normally when a rookie missed that much time, their head's spinning when they come in. But he's so bright, he's so smart, he can make the adjustments on the fly. Many of the players said he's calling protections at the line of scrimmage and asking the receivers to adjust the route, saying, hey, I'll get it there.
Letting the clock wind down. Leftwich will take the timeout with 4 seconds left. And Seth Marler, the field goal kicker, getting ready. Looking at about a 52, 53-yard field goal. You know, the dynamic between Leftwich and Brunell, something worth talking about. We asked Byron how the relationship has been. He told us really hasn't been affected, despite the fact that Leftwich has been elevated to #1 because they are competitive people. He recognizes that Mark wants to start. He understands that, but it hasn't seeped into the friendship. Brunell has been a guy that Leftwich could bounce things off of.
And I don't think any of us are surprised. Mark Brunell has always been a consummate pro. Anytime we've sat down and talked with him, he's a guy that's a true leader in every sense of the word, and he understands where he's at in his career, and he knows that when you have a young, talented player like Byron Leftwich, that a guy like him is going to play. And Mark Brunell is going to do his best to help this football team by tutoring the young quarterback and just trying to make this the best circumstance and the best situation possible.
They also have David Garrard at quarterback, another young, talented QB who is the backup here today. This is a 53-yard attempt. Seth Marler's longest is 49. And San Diego's going to ice him a little bit. Chris Hansen will hold it. Joe Zelenka will snap it when we return. 53-yard attempt coming up from Jacksonville in a moment.
How about something with a pool?
A hunting lodge. Kids will love that. How about something with a pool?
Lots of photos. Another way Expedia helps you find the hotel that's right for you.
Expedia.com. 4 seconds remain in the first half. Jacksonville looking to go to the locker room with the lead. A 53-yard attempt from the rookie Seth Marler from Tulane. Had some accuracy problems as a senior. And now getting an opportunity to give his team the 3-point edge. From the snap of Zelenka, Hansen will hold it. For the lead, Marler's 53-yard attempt. And he nails it with no time left. A new career high for Seth Marler and a 10-7 advantage for Jacksonville at the break.
Well, he bends it like Beckham because it started on the outside and curved back in, and it's good.
Nextel halftime report coming up.
Lee Zurich on Channel 4's Eyewitness Sports.
Nextel Halftime Report, sponsored by Nextel, nationwide walkie-talkie.
All right, the Jags lead this first ever meeting between Jacksonville and San Diego. Jim Nance with you on the Nextel Halftime Report, along with Dan, Dion, and Boomer.
Hey, Jim.
Happened on this day of football.
Exciting.
Been some good stuff. How about the first half here, Dan?
Well, first of all, the big story here is David Boston, a guy that was suspended last week, comes up big in the first half for San Diego, 6 catches, 103 yards, and a touchdown. But Brian Leftwich making some really nice throws in the first half. Look for him to have a good second half.
All right, let's move around the board here and check out now Washington and Philadelphia. And the Eagles are driving. They're inside the 10 late the second quarter and leading there. McNabb was picked and was run back for a touchdown by the Redskins for their only touchdown. Terrell Owens got in the end zone in the first series of the game. They were up 17-0. Lions have come back. Harrington with a touchdown toss. Now a 7-point margin. Here is an incredible performance. Early finals. Kansas City is 5-0, first time ever, thanks to Dante Hall.
I remember Rick Upchurch, Billy White, Shoes Johnson, even myself. I have never seen a punt returner. Nothing like this, Jim. It's unbelievable.
He enjoyed you coming down, giving him a little time this week, primetime.
I appreciate a guy that I looked up to. You know, I really looked up to Dion. For him to appreciate the things that I'm doing, as well as my teammates is helping me doing, it really meant a lot. So I told him I was going to make him proud, so I hope he's proud.
Everyone had to battle so hard to keep us in a position that one play like that could win. And there's so many moral victories in a game like this.
Nice little tribute there, Dion.
Man, that kid is unbelievable, man.
Wait a minute, you remembered yourself?
Yes,
you remembered
When did you ever forget yourself?
Every day.
We always hear about yourself all the time.
You're going to hear more.
There you go.
More
and
to come.
more.
You're unbelievable.
And remembered his...
Beautiful, man.
All right, the Raiders, they cannot believe they lost this one. To give credit here to Cordell and the Bears for hanging in there. It was 18-3. When Woodson got his second pick of the day, it looked like this might be a rout.
2 picks and a fumble recovery for Charles Woodson, and the Raiders should have won this game, and it should have been a rout. But right here, a nice move. Terrence Shaw jumps on the ball on the move, and Cordell makes a beautiful throw and gives Edinger a chance to win the game right at the end.
48 yards, winner.
See that last part again? Cordell makes a beautiful throw.
Yes, it was a beautiful
First win of the season for the Bears, and the Raiders are 0-3 on the road this season. Dolphins and the Giants. What about it, Dan?
And Ricky Williams runs in here, and Dave Wannstedt talks about the game.
Hey, special teams, we come up with a return. Hey, guys, heck of a win. This doesn't come easy. Great win, heck of a job. See everybody tomorrow. Good job.
Gary Collins was picked 3 times. This coming after visiting with Boomer earlier in the week. He didn't set him up like Dion set up Dante.
They have their backs against the wall. They'll be fine now. They need a little bit of adversity, and then Jim Fossil will start screaming at them, and then all of a sudden they'll start performing. Don't you worry about it.
It was 3 picks, too. He had
I just
3
forgot
picks.
about you. You know that?
3 interceptions he had.
It's about
thanks
that
for
time.
you never had 3 interceptions before in your life.
Not very often.
Here are the Titans and the Patriots, and they both walk away 3-2 after this thriller won by New England.
Steve McNair doing what he does best, throwing for almost 400 yards, but Mike Cloud comes up with the big play. But it was Ty Law who picked up the ball and ran it in for a touchdown to really seal this game.
And the Patriots, how about that? 9 starters from opening day out with injury. Hard-fought win there for them today. Bills win in overtime.
Yeah, lucky win for the Bills right here. Travis Henry goes in to win the game. And we hear from Takeo Spikes, former Cincinnati Bengal.
We got back on track today, and the biggest thing right now, we're just trying to take it one at a time. Focus on 1 week at a time.
All right, so the Bills, after 2 lackluster performances, come back today. They rallied to win. They were down 16-13, had to drive to tie it right at the end. Saints, well, they're reeling. And how about the Panthers? They are undefeated. That's Stephen Davis, over 100 again. That's 4 for 4, Dan. 4 games.
And they're playing the kind of football that John Fox wants to play, hard running, play good defense, and control the line of scrimmage with the running game.
I hear the Vikings still on fire, highest scoring team now in the NFC.
And they can do it through the air and on the ground. Mike Tyson's got his boys flying 39-26.
Randy Moss hauled in 2 more touches today in that one. How about Seattle and Green Bay?
You see right here, Brett Favre, hands off to Armand Green. He talks about playing Seattle.
Seattle, that's where I started. Just great
You guys hear him? I didn't hear him. What did he say?
He said it was wonderful.
Seattle, right?
He said, God bless you and thank you. I
He
appreciate
said
it.
Boomer Esiason is my favorite studio analyst. How about the Cardinals and the Cowboys? A lot of emotions after this game. Emmett went out with only minus a yard on 6 attempts with a bruised shoulder. Quincy Carter threw 2 touchdowns.
My little daughter, she wrote me a note. She said, Daddy, no matter what happens, If you win, you did your best, and if you lose, you did your best too. And that is what it's all about.
How about that emotion there, Dion, your old teammate?
I've never seen that side of Emmett. Dallas has never seen that side of Emmett. That's an Emmett that he's hurting right now. I think he's starting to regret the decision to go to Arizona.
Dan, you put that in perspective, though, too.
Well, I mean, this guy has all these championships, and he's played so many great games in that stadium. To go back there and play the way they did, I mean, it's tough to take.
Hard to accept.
I got a unique perspective. The fact that he's playing in desert, that's why he's crying.
I was there, I know, man. You got lost out there for a while.
Yeah, I did get lost.
Got a lot of feeling for the guy, don't you? Second half coming up. The NFL and CBS continues.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report, sponsored by Nextel, nationwide walkie-talkie.